Hey there, and welcome to episode number 3 of the World of Presentation podcast brought to you by 356 Labs. Today we're talking to a very, very special guest whose name is Mihaela about what is the connection between the world of healthy food and the world of presentations. Mihaela, welcome to the podcast. We're very happy to talk to you today, so let's kind of start. But before we start, give us a bit of history lesson about who is Mihaela. Who are you?
Hi, Bobby. Thank you for the invitation. Long time no see.
That's true.
My name is Mihaela Beloreshka, and I'm a health psychologist, nutritional therapist, and for the past 6 years, I've been leading workshops, seminars, and I've been writing in my blog, Good Natured Food.
Okay. We are going to link those up in the show notes afterwards, so you have to provide us those links for sure. Plus, you started like, or at least from the side, it looks like a movement towards healthy food. Like, how did that happen when I know that you were in the space of psychology and not healthy food at the beginning? Like, what was the connection there?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
Nobody is quite sure, right?
It was kind of intuitive transition.
Okay.
I just, my curiosity led me towards food and recipe development and creativity. And I had just graduated psychology, and I just, wandered about and I don't know, I just tried different things, and food was like this constant thing that drew me. And I started exploring it because it's
But
it's
were
exciting.
you drawn into food during the university years or not?
Well, I've been drawn to food like my whole life, basically.
That makes
So yeah, it
that
was
makes
like
sense.
this perfect period of time which it just exploded.
It exploded, yeah.
Yeah.
In the last, how many years?
I think 7
At least in
already.
Bulgaria.
7, yeah. My blog is 7 years. I think,
7 years now?
yeah, this
Jesus,
month.
That's a lot. Okay.
So yeah, it's been quite a journey, and I started food blogging and writing recipes and sharing them with the world, and I got into food photography as well. And finally, I started, getting curious about the science of nutrition.
Okay. Which is for sure crazy.
Which is, kind of a madness right now. And I did it. So I followed this curiosity as well, and I got certified as a nutritional therapist.
How do you get certified for something like this? Who certifies? Who is the institution?
Well, there are a lot.
Okay.
And they're mainly abroad.
Okay.
So I was drawn to,
We're not the biggest country on the planet. This is being recorded in Bulgaria.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
Reality check.
Reality check. Quick one.
So basically, there are a few respected institutions, and I was drawn to the Nutritional Therapy Association in the United States.
Okay.
It's an online program, but it involved hands-on workshop on place for which I traveled to the States. And and after that, I had my head exploding with knowledge about food and nutrition and body wisdom, and this led me to wanting to share this knowledge.
So you spent time in the US also, or not, or just online?
Yeah, I had one hands-on workshop there as part of the program.
That's interesting. Did the healthy food, I don't know if I'm using the proper terminology here, but did this movement kind of started at the same time all across the world, or are we in Bulgaria lagging behind a few years, as with everything else?
For sure lagging, yeah.
For sure lagging?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So there are countries that are way ahead.
Yeah, sure. Mainly, the health coach is now, a legal profession in the States, and it's not here.
Okay.
So I think there are 20 years.
Healthy coach.
Health coach,
Health coach,
or
okay, is a legal profession.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this holistic approach is still, is making baby steps here. So it's not that recognized, but still I think it's very needed because we are holistic beings after all.
Okay, and is it just which are the leaders in this? Who are the leaders here? Is it the US?
Yeah, I think the sickest country is the leader because the sickest country needs most healing.
Yeah,
and healthy lifestyle.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And then in Europe, if we have to name a leader in Europe, who is going to be the leader? What do you think? Is it the Scandinavians or?
I'm not sure. I think each, region has its own, local
Italians?
customs. Yeah.
The Italians are also very.
Yeah, there are different approaches, and they're based on like local cuisine and tradition and traditional foods.
Okay.
So I think, and even in Bulgaria, we have this, very specific, foods that are endemic for our. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So from the world of psychology to nutrition, healthy foods and everything else, food photography, many other things. Here, at least in Bulgaria, I think that a ton of people know who you are and what you are doing because of your, especially what I see, the social media presence that you have. So what are the things that you are doing in that space? I for sure see the workshops, for sure see those trainings, those really creative initiatives that you have with some of the corporate organizations here, like the guys at, I believe, the Kaufland were also one of your clients, on and on and on. So tell us a bit more about those type of things that are happening there. What are you involved with?
So my main focus is education. So
Okay.
no matter the client, if it's individual class or a corporation,
Okay.
I'm all about educating people about their own bodies. So the client doesn't matter. It's the content that I'm focused on. And yeah, for the past 5 or 6 years, I've been working with a lot of different audiences, so to say. And I've seen that people have one and the same problem.
Okay.
Yeah, everywhere I go, they have like the same questions and the same struggles. And it doesn't matter if you're a corporate person or a freelancer or just a new mom.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's just this, massive confusion that is about food and nutrition and what to eat and what not.
Okay, so what are you said multiple audiences, like various audiences that have the same needs, which now gets very close to what we are all about also, because we analyze, for example, for our trainings, we analyze very carefully the audiences, especially when we're building also presentations for our clients. We kind of push them to think about who the audience is, and we do some crazy things, let's put it this way, to understand who is going to be in front of us. Like, what are the audiences that you are very often in front? Let's name a few, because you said corporates, but what are the, like, if you have to go to a specifics, what are there?
I think that like all people.
Okay.
Because
okay, that's a hard question.
Yeah,
obviously,
that's a very specific, because we all eat, we all digest, we all need energy, we all need to prosper and to thrive and to be healthy. So I think all people, with the clarification that all people who actually are open to new knowledge and who are curious about their bodies.
Okay.
So in this respect, I think mainly people who are drawn to nutrition and who value the power of nutrition and healthy lifestyle.
Okay.
I mean, I think
you've seen them all, more or less, it sounds like.
Yeah. And I think people are naturally curious about themselves. So it's not that I'm trying to, reach new audiences, because people are naturally curious how their bodies work and how can they support their physiology and energy and focus. So I think it's quite natural.
Okay, so you said we have like the public workshops, which I and everyone, let's say from our team, can enroll in and learn something for 4 hours or a full day, a workshop somewhere in Sofia, right?
Yes.
And then we have the corporate engagements where you go and train like a whole organization or few teams at least, right? So what happens behind the scenes? You have been doing this for 7 years. For sure there has been a change, or at least you have noticed some things that when you started, the way you were teaching now changed a bit, or you were probably noticed some things that could be better when you started compared to today. Like, what is the behind the scenes here? When you're teaching, what's the behind the scenes? Because this is something that I believe the people who are listening to this would appreciate highly. And let's see the connection points now.
Oh yeah,
7 years ago.
7 years ago, poor students.
The poor student. Jesus, okay.
Yeah, my first students and my first presentation, I was so locked in myself. Like I was so focused on the facts,
Okay, theory.
the theory, the information.
Okay.
Like I wanted everything to be like so precisely put, and I just stuffed my lectures with information. And
Okay,
you know
a
how,
lot.
yeah, you
Okay.
know how bad that is.
If you're in the world of that, yeah, any world, by the way, can stuff a lot of things in their presentation. That is for sure.
Yeah, because I wanted to,
And just feel safe.
yeah, and I
Kinda.
wanted to deliver.
Yeah.
I wanted to deliver hardcore. So I had so much information. And with times, I just filtered out some things that are not that practical.
Okay.
And the specific things about my culinary classes or cooking classes is that I divide the time between 50% theory and 50% practice.
And that's now, right?
Yeah,
Okay. When did you start dividing the workshops?
from the beginning.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it was not that bad.
Yeah.
It was not that only theory.
No, but the theory part was I was so introverted. I was like super focused on my own presentation, and I wasn't paying attention to actually what what is conveyed to the people, which is so crucial.
Yeah.
So crucial to get their feedback and actually get the energy and just ask, is that okay? Is that clear?
Yeah,
just
okay.
basic stuff. So I think for everyone that starts right now, it's really, really important the connection that you make with the audience. And
Okay.
specifically in my case, I work with groups of like 12 people maximum. So
That's nice.
yeah. And that's
You call them intentionally, right? Like you keep them 10 or 12
yes,
intentionally.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. I want to make one-on-one contact with
Yeah.
each and everyone. And I want them to start communicating with each other, because after 20, like people start to I don't know, they don't feel safe making connections. So 12,
Okay.
so I think 12 is like the perfect quantity of people for a group. And
Where you are searching for the private individual contact with each and everyone though, right?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
And that also for sure, because we also close our trainings on 10.
Mm-hmm.
With a few kind of exceptions to the rule where we have like 11 or something like this. But we also see a huge difference when you're trying to do a training or a workshop with 10 and then with 40.
Yes.
Like it is not that private anymore. It's not
And the
same
efficiency.
experience.
Yeah.
The efficiency is not the same.
Yes.
The privacy, overall, the whole experience is very different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally. And especially
So not that many facts. 50-50
Yeah.
practice, theory practice, then small groups if you want a boutique experience.
Yep.
Let's say very private,
Yep.
very okay. What else? You said that you are making them socialize. You said something
yes,
like this. Okay.
That's the third main focus. I mean, it's 50% theory, 50% practice, and 100% community.
Okay, that is
So-
interesting. Let's elaborate here.
Yeah, I think that people learn more efficiently in group, and collaborating, sharing experiences, and it's been so fascinating to see how people actually open up and
Okay.
share their story, because every one of us, we have our story, we have our background, and food is the
Food
most
is,
yeah
easy.
talk me emotions.
Yeah.
So I think each and every one of us thinks that we are alone in this, and we have this problem, and nobody else
Yeah.
has this problem. And when we start to share our questions, we see that we're all in this together,
Yeah.
and we have the same struggles, and it kind of lightens up the space, because we start exploring and making connections. And I really believe that the knowledge and the information integrates so much better when it goes through the
Okay.
body, and
Okay.
where we are open to experience, and when we feel safe,
Yeah.
because when we are under pressure, we are actually not really our perception is not laser focused.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think feeling safe and socially accepted and free to ask all the questions you need is crucial for the educational process.
Yeah, for the success of the
Yeah.
overall training or educational purpose.
Yeah.
Educational. Okay. Yeah.
Totally.
That's interesting. But is there anything special that you kind of do to set up the fact that this is a safe environment for you guys? Like, is there something that you say or something that's being written somewhere? Like, I don't know. Like, how do you tell them? Because, for example, just to give you context, like when we have when we have practice sessions with our guys, with our clients, especially in the corporate world, where when they have to present in front of us, we set up the case by saying, hey, this is closed doors now. Like, this is just a training. There is no wrong or right here. We are here to fail if we want to consider it a failure, right? But it's not a failure at all. We are here to learn it, try it, do a mistake here and there, and learn from it in a safe environment. Whatever happens here, happen here. So nobody cares, right? So don't worry about it. Just go with the flow, right? Is there anything similar, or how do you set this up?
Yeah, that's amazing. I think my approach, like even in social media, is very like similar to my offline presence.
Okay.
So I'm talking honestly and openly a lot about all kind of matters online.
Okay.
And when I'm offering the course to my audience, this is one of the priorities with which I describe it.
Okay.
We gather together and we get together and we actually create this safe space and we can explore together, the topic of nutrition in which you're interested in. So whatever you're interested in, I'm here, use me.
Okay, sure.
And when we are starting the course...
you have a Q&A session constantly?
Constantly, all the time. Yeah, I love questions.
Okay. But you have to be good in controlling the time, though.
Yes,
that is a tricky one.
Yeah,
that's
a tricky one. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm experimenting with that. I'm experimenting with that.
Okay.
When we in the opening hour of my course, I'm just creating this environment in which I really emphasize on the impact of openness, of sharing our story, of being even challenging our beliefs, challenging our perceptions, challenging all the knowledge that we have, and just trying for a little bit to be so open that everything is possible.
Yeah.
And after that, after gathering all the information, you can pick, like you can filter everything, but be open because you're here to hear. You've come here to learn something new, and just
try to extract as much as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the rest just throw away for some other time.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have what happens with those people that are part of those courses or trainings? No matter whether or not they are public or in corporate setup, is there like a follow-up? Is there do you kind of follow up on them somehow, or are they reaching out for some questions? Do you allow them? Like, what's the case there? Because you mentioned community.
Yes.
Yeah, and you have to do that word.
For sure, for the culinary class, which is called Food for Change, which is like my main focus, what I created in the past 5 years. We have an online community in which all the questions that rise up after the course, you can, feel free to ask and evolve like this conversation. And I'm working on a I'm trying to figure out how to create some consistency with that, because I see that with lifestyle change, it's not like installing some new software on your computer.
It's way harder.
And from tomorrow now I'm gonna jog every day or
run every day. Yeah. It's way harder.
So I'm trying to come with this method or approach in which I can keep up and be more consistent with clients probably in the future. I'm not quite there yet. Okay. But I really feel the need. Yeah. Feedback, surveys. That's the main thing which in which I improve the course, because feedback is something that I'm doing from the first
and that kind of gave you
totally painful, but
that was what I was about to ask. Were there any moments when, especially at the beginning, you heard some, let's put it that way, not that pleasant feedback for the courses? Were there any cases, or at least one or two people that said, this was whatever, I'm not happy with it or whatever, but then you looked at it and you said, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. I love feedback. It's tricky though, because
You have to be careful.
Yeah, you cannot, please everyone.
Absolutely.
But yeah, when 19% is like excellent, I'm happy, of course.
So
And
that's the internal KPI, 90% happiness
yeah,
meets the goal. Okay.
yeah, totally. So of course there are some, this feedback from time to time, which is, oh, I thought of that. Of course I had to do this.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'm doing it the next time.
Yeah.
And this, evolves, the whole process and the whole, and I evolve, of course.
Yeah, of course.
The feedback for my presence, for my skills, it's so important. So I think, feedback is this thing that drives you, but also, you have to stand your ground and be, happy with your performance in the first place, no matter, the feedback.
Yeah.
Because we all have different backgrounds and stories.
That's true.
And some people have, very unrealistic expectations.
That's also true sometimes.
Yeah.
That's also true. But how do you collect the feedback? Is it just you shooting them an email or
Yeah.
whatever?
It's just a short survey,
A link to a platform?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Are you using something special or what are you using for the
Google
Forms?
Yeah.
Okay, you have to check, by the way, everyone here has to check. It's called Typeform. Typeform.com. This is brilliant. I mean, I really care, for example, for the user experience and every interaction between us and the client. And not recently, but 6 months ago, I received a survey so that I fill it in from, I don't know from whom anymore. Like, I really don't remember anymore. And I entered in this website because I was like, okay, sure, let's go. Clicked on the website, and this website was so well done for feedback. I was like, what is this thing? Like, there is no way they have custom coded or have built it for themselves, because I knew the company. I just don't remember the company right now. And I looked for logos, the branding of the software, and I'm like, what is this thing? What is this thing? What is this thing? And then I found it, and it's called Typeform. I'm like, okay, google.com, Typeform. Saw it. This thing is brilliant. It is so well done. It is way ahead of everything else in terms of like quizzes, forms, feedback, whatever. We were using also Google Forms. We used Microsoft Forms also. That is another one. We also use SurveyMonkey, which is another popular one.
I also use this for my bachelor degree.
A popular one. Try and test out the Typeform.
Typeform, yeah.
You will be stunned. It is so from the user experience perspective, it is just so nice. I will show it to you later on, but I'll also link it in the show notes. It is super cool, and it's super so smooth, so nice. It just makes you add the feedback.
Wow.
It is, and it's highly customizable. You can put your branding all over the place. You can do whatever you want. Then you create a survey, and then if you have another group, what we do, for example, we have a generic, let's put it this way, survey. We ask specific questions every single time, and we just duplicate it. I just copy paste it and add the name of the client this time, and then send it over to them. And it's every single time when we send it to a client, no matter who they are, now and then you receive feedback that this was super cool experience. Yeah, and I was like, I know. Like, I also saw it. So typeform.com or .co, I don't remember, but if you just type in Typeform,
I'll check it out.
See it. Yeah, it is really cool stuff. We are even paying for it because we went on the second tier because of some feature. I don't know which one, but we saw it. We tested it out on the free one. We were in love with it, and we're like, we need this and that and this and that. Can we do it in the free version? No. Okay, we'll pay it. It was super nice.
Well, you're professional.
Anyway, we don't know the guys at Typeform, so that's like, I really don't know them, but the software is just brilliant. Okay, so what else changed? So there is so we have the 50-50 theory versus practice. Then we have this community focus. Then we have any question answered, right, throughout the whole day or throughout the whole experience. However, careful on the controlling on the time. Feedback, even though it's painful sometimes, it is the best way to learn, right? And adapt. Anything else that you kind of saw in the last 7-8 years and said, wait a minute, this is something that changed dramatically and it led to better training or better education process, cutting on the content, you said, so that it's focused, more focused on the goal of the training.
Yeah, more practical things.
More practical things. People are tired of just theory and abstractions.
Yeah, I don't believe in that anymore.
Okay.
I just don't believe that you go for 1 hour and you go out and you're the same person. So I want
there is no change.
Yeah. So I want people to transform.
Okay.
You know, I want people to experience something, and I think even with nutrition and with cooking, you have to put your hands on. You know, you have to feel the food. You have to see how easy it actually is, and not on YouTube. You know, just with your own body.
But you have a lot of exercises where you guys cook there, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Every time we have this 1 hour and a half lecture plus Q&A. Yeah, you're welcome. and after that we put our aprons.
Okay.
You know, we get motivated, and the students actually cook the food. So I'm just navigating them in the process.
How? What?
Yeah.
When, maybe.
They're
Also.
working in teams. I think this is so important and beautiful to see how people cooperate, and they have some tasks and they start to delegate different tasks, and they
it's
start
a group
to
exercise. Okay.
Yeah, and they kind of relax. You know, when people come in the first before the class and they're like, you know, a little bit shy,
of course,
a little bit tired, and after you know, working with their body and communicating, they're like so light up and so excited and so smiley. And I love
and especially when you see it work, when you see that it's possible for you to do it. Even I can judge by myself when I do like some really stupid simple things in regards to food. I'm like, that kind of makes me feel okay. Like the fact that the fact that I can do something on a, I don't know what level, but not on the worst level out there in terms of food, is like, if I maybe spend a bit of time and someone tells me what to do so that I save also time, not do 1,000 mistakes, right? I may be able to pull this up, right? Like I may be able to do it.
It's not that complex, really. It's not that hard.
Okay.
That's the main mission of the course, to actually, you know, filter all the unnecessary information and focus on the foundational information, because people are talking all about fancy superfoods and you know, special diets and bullshit, and it's not the foundational information and knowledge you need.
Okay.
So when you actually start to regard food as a functional food, like what function it actually plays in your body, you can actually make choice about, you know, your food every day. And the main focus is to be, you know, knowledgeable and confident long term. Not only for these 3 hours which you're educating, but actually going after in your real life and actually applying all this knowledge and, you know, filtering all the new information through this basic knowledge, which is not that hard, really. You just have to be it have to be structured in a proper way. So I think structure is like huge. Structure is everything when educating
people. That's why, by the way, many people pay, right? Because you can get so much information everywhere. But it's just so mixed, and you are like, what should I do when?
Totally, yeah.
And when it's many people are like, why should I pay for this, let's say, course when everything is online? Well, go search it online, try it out, and you'll see that you will lose whatever time of whatever hours. Then you come here for 4 hours or 8 hours for a training, and you go out of that one and say, okay,
totally worth it.
That's totally worth it.
Yeah.
That is anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so how you prepare, like you have a lot of logistics for a workshop or a training, like at least there's the room, the venue, the food. Like what's the process behind when you prepare all of that stuff? Like is it one day beforehand you do all of that stuff? Is it like a week in advance you start reaching out to the people that need to be reached out? How is the preparation going? for training or workshop?
Yeah, it depends on the training. If I'm with the the culinary course, I'm working in partnership with the culinary school.
Okay.
So they're doing all the organizational work, the registration, the grocery shopping, which is
nice.
Of course, yeah. And I'm,
you're the trainer.
Yeah,
only.
I'm responsible for my performance basically.
That is super cool.
And leading the class. So it's really great teamwork. I love them. I love collaborating with them. And of course, when
you don't care about the logistics at all?
No.
That is super nice.
No, for this particular course,
But you for sure coordinated what you expect from the venue.
Everything. So I give them my shopping list, and I have like very high requirements about the products I use. So I say this is organic, this is from this shop, and everything. Sure. So I'm organizing this, but they're doing the work.
Okay. So there's a checklist.
Yes.
Some kind.
yes. Okay. But it's so many years that it's flawless now. It's been so smooth. And of course, when I'm doing a workshop in corporate setting, I have to be doing the logistics. Yeah. So it's kind of hard, but it's exciting. Sometimes we are doing like smoothie workshop in which we have like blenders and produce. So I have to be like there 1 hour and a half earlier. Yeah. But it's exciting.
Do you rent those things, or sometimes if you need, for example, those blenders, you
sometimes,
rent them, or
sometimes, or I use my personal one. So
okay, got it. Because if you are doing it, how many of those do you need for a training? Like
it depends on
the size of the group.
Yeah, it depends on the size. But sometimes I borrow. Sometimes I just demonstrate on my own, and
then you give
then I share the result with. It's either a culinary course in which people do the food, or a demonstration in which they see how it's made. So it cannot be both.
Okay, interesting. Okay, what else? Something else in regards to the courses? What's next? What are the next courses?
I'm doing now an anti-inflammatory class, which is doing pretty great. People are very excited about this because inflammation is like a big issue right now in health. And I'm starting to prepare new events which are more toward emotional eating, emotional experiences, because that's kind of a need that came from feedback and from collaborating with people. Because as I said in the beginning, people, there's so much information, people know what they have to eat, but they don't do it.
Creating a habit
is
so hard.
Lifestyle change is hard. Hard.
By the way, I don't know, have you heard any research on the topic how many days do you need to stick with a habit or with something before it becomes? Because the last thing I heard from this very popular person who's called Robin Sharma, who is some of the biggest, one of the most important figures in that space, the leadership space. Is like, I believe Stanford researched the topic and said 66 days or something like this. Have you heard any?
It varies. It varies. The information varies. I don't really, focus on this because it create some kind of pressure on people that it has to happen like
66
like
days.
On the 66th day you're
you're
a new person. Like, so I really don't believe that. Really, it's not my thing. I really believe in constant change. I believe in relapses even. Like, they're so healthy, because when we are so stiff and we're like toughen up to make this diet or this lifestyle change, our bodies don't work like that. So we need rest, we need regeneration, we need it's kind of fueling this stress response in the body when we're like making like 5 changes in the same time, and we're like crushing in 5 days. So I really believe that change and each new habit is lifelong work. You never know what time you'll change your mind or something new will come up. So I'd recommend that we don't focus so much on the days, but more on the the present day. What can I do today to actually support my health?
That is well said, by the way. So you're doing a lot of trainings in the last 7 or 8 years. Let's go here and let's then wrap it up. What is the one thing that, based on your experience with so many people from like different ages, I believe, right? Different
Yeah.
ages also.
Totally. Yeah.
Different, not, I would say not cultures, but not just different ages, but different expertise, different
Life paths.
industries, life paths. If the person who is listening to this at some point decides to say, hey, I want to teach somebody something, what is, if you have to decide on one thing right now on the spot, like what would you say this person or those people have to spend the time on to deliver that education in the best way possible? Like, what would be the one thing that they would start, in your opinion? Like, what do you think? Based on your last 7 or 8 years?
Yeah.
That's a hard one. I agree.
It's hard to focus on one, but I think for me the most the most transformative, thing that happened is that my personal work on myself. So when I actually when I started to be more present,
during the training, you mean?
To be more present in my body. So to be more grounded in my performance when I'm in front of people. So this is the state in which you can actually make a change in someone. Okay. So you can actually connect. So be present, make this significant eye contact in which, this information goes between you. And I think this is the most transformational thing that happens in, this human interaction that we have all day, because information is information, but without the humanness, without the personal touch that we exchange, it just goes away.
It's just a session. It's just a lecture.
And it doesn't integrate. So I think for anyone starting, don't be afraid to be intimidated, don't be afraid to be vulnerable, don't be afraid to be shaking, just share that. Like that's the humanness of you and of all of us. So when you actually acknowledge this, and when you start experiencing and not suppressing what you feel when you're in front of people, you can actually be more natural, more authentic, and that's what people
appreciate and buy also. That is true. And I would add to that, by the way, that in order for you to do that, sometimes you have to be, for many people, many people ask for that, how to be more authentic, present, etc. And one of the things that they don't understand, that in order for that to happen, there is also behind the scenes work that is called preparation. You have to be prepared for what you are going to be doing in that one day, so that you don't even think about it.
Preparation,
and that allows you to be present in every moment, in every reaction, scan for those reactions, talk, be personal with everybody. Otherwise, if all the content is constantly on top of your head and you're like, what should I say now? What is next? What was this exercise about? You'll never be able to be present at all. So
preparation is key. I think preparation is key. For the first 3 or 4 years, I was rehearsing like 2 days before.
Full days?
Before presenting.
That, by the way, is something that people has to hear. So here is the connection point again. So
obligatory.
That's a must.
Rehearse, get up, rehearse, go in the park, rehearse. Talk to people. I've even, in my first public speaking event, I actually videotaped myself. I was so embarrassed. I was videotaped
It's always
myself.
Embarrassing the first time when you hear yourself. You're like,
and I sent it to a friend.
How it looks?
Oh my god. I quit. So I videotaped myself and I sent it to a friend, which is like more experienced in that, to get feedback. And I knew this wasn't, the greatest presentation. You have to accept this. And what actually helps me, not kill myself in such moment, is actually saying to myself, okay, this is not the greatest presentation, but this is the best I have today to offer. And tomorrow I'll be better. So, and I knew that I have many more opportunities to practice. So just do what you can do best right now in this moment, and
But don't forget to rehearse it. That is.
Till death.
That is something that we see every single day, more or less. Like, there are people that just say to us, well, why should I rehearse it when well, I'm doing this for the last 17 years and this is my project, this is my work, why should I rehearse this? And I'm like, you are not getting it. It's not a matter of whether or not you know what you're talking about. It's a matter of what happens when you go on stage.
It's a skill.
Yeah, that's also important.
It's a
That's
skill.
That's
It's a skill like all the other skills you have to practice.
In the previous episode when we had Vergi, who is the fashion photographer, she asked whether or not this is a skill or it's a given. I'm like, it's a skill.
It's a skill, definitely.
It is a skill. And you can guess, and you can see it by everyone who is considered to be the best, right? Even people like Steve Jobs, who are very bad public speakers, which is making a lot of people say, yeah, right. But if you Google it, you will go to YouTube and say, hey, wait a minute, let me see Steve Jobs' first presentation. He was about to throw up during his first public appearance on a TV for some TV interview or whatever. He said it publicly. I'm so nervous, I'm going to throw up. And this is that same person that afterwards the whole world appreciates. Yeah. The whole world is still pointing towards and saying he was the greatest.
But still a person.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so where can everyone who is listening to this at any point in time find more? Like, where is it?
So you can check my website, of course, goodnaturedfood.com, and also goodnaturedfood.com.
Good-natured food. Okay.
Yes, and also mihaelabeloreshka.com will lead you there as well.
Okay. So they're both domains leading to the same place?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm in a period of transition.
Okay, cool.
And of course, I'm very active in Instagram. So if
that
you,
one I know.
Yeah,
that one I know. Okay.
If you want to interact, more, authentically and on the spot, you can find me there.
That's the place.
My nickname, is Mihaela Beloreshka as well.
Okay.
And of course, if you're interested in your body, in nutrition, and putting like some stable foundations on your health, you can join me in one of my courses. Or if you're a CEO and you're leading a team. Yes, if you have a team basically of any kind, and you care about your team and you want to support them in being healthy and productive and giving you their best ideas, I can help with that.
Food is for sure.
I can help with that, with stress management at work, with eating habits at work. So this is the ways in which we can collaborate.
Perfect. All right. So here we are at the end of the episode, where we I'm not surprised even that there are connection points between the food industry, the healthy food industry, and the presentation world. Thank you, Mihaela.
Thank you,
I still
Bobby.
call you Misha. I don't know why. And thank you everyone who listened and for staying tuned, of course. There's surely a lot more to say about the topic. You know now where you can find more. So let us know, by the way, if you still have some questions. Shoot a message to Mihaela if you have any question, obviously. And if you think, or if you know somebody that you would like us to interview next, that you believe that has a connection to our world, to the presentation world, just shoot us on Facebook, Instagram, or any other social channel. We are all over the place for one reason or the other. In the meantime, our website is 356labs. Wait, what is our website? 356labs.com. Go there, and if you want to go there so that you can find more about the world of presentations. And thank you for listening. And in case you found this episode to be useful, subscribe to the podcast, and why not even leave us a review on iTunes, which is a very big platform, obviously there, or share it with a friend. We would appreciate it. So that's that. See you in the next episode. Bye.